My grandmother made her 5 grandkids interview to inherit her restaurant. I bombed every interview on purpose, I thought. The will reading revealed she'd been grading a completely different exam. Grandma Rosa built Casa Rosa from a food truck into the most beloved restaurant in our town over 40 years. Last spring, she sat all 5 of us down in the empty dining room after close and told us 2 things. 1, the doctors had found something in her lungs, and it wasn't going to unfind itself. 2, the restaurant, the building, the recipes, and everything she owned would go to exactly one of us. There will be evaluations, she said, tapping the table. You won't always know when they're happening. My cousins lit up like slot machines. Marco started talking about franchising before she'd even finished. Elena mentioned a developer who'd once offered 7 figures for the corner lot. I felt sick. Our grandmother had just told us she was dying, and the room smelled like ambition. As we left, she caught my sleeve. Mija, don't perform for me. Promise. I promised, not understanding. The first evaluation was a shift. She had each of us run the restaurant alone for one Saturday night, and she'd sit in the corner booth watching. Marco ran his night like a drill sergeant and posted record sales. Elena cut 2 menu items to improve margins and beat him. On my night, our dishwasher Tomas got a call mid-rush that his wife was in labor. I sent him to the hospital, took over the dish pit myself, fell behind on everything, comped 3 tables for slow food, and posted the worst numbers of anyone. My cousins didn't let me forget it. Grandma just wrote something in the little green notebook she'd carried my whole life. The second evaluation was a question over Sunday dinner. What's the first thing you change about Casa Rosa? Marco said the prices. Elena said the location. Dominic had a renovation plan on his phone, renderings and all. I said I'd put Grandpa's photo back up by the register. She'd taken it down years ago because looking at it hurt too much. But the regulars still asked about him, and I thought the restaurant missed its other founder. Elena actually snorted. That's not a business answer, Grandma wrote in the notebook. The third evaluation, none of us saw. A man came in claiming his takeout order was wrong and demanding a refund, getting loud, getting nasty, while Grandma was in the back. Marco, running the register that day, threatened to call the police. The next week, the same kind of scene happened on my shift. An old woman, confused, insisting she'd paid for a meal she clearly hadn't ordered. I sat with her, figured out she was lost and scared and hungry, fed her, and called the number in her purse. Her daughter arrived crying with gratitude. I comped the meal. My register came up short. Again. Grandma died in October, on a Sunday. After the lunch rush, she'd insisted on watching from her booth. At the will reading, my cousins wore their best clothes and their calculations. I sat by the wall. The lawyer read the small bequests, then said, the restaurant, the property, and the remainder of the estate passed to one grandchild. He looked up. He said my name. Marco was on his feet instantly. She failed everything. Her numbers were the worst every single time. The lawyer raised a hand and pressed play on a recording. Grandma's voice filled the room, raspy but amused. If Marco is yelling right now, sit down, mijo, he sat. You all thought I was grading sales. 40 years I ran that kitchen, and not once did the register tell me if we were doing well. The dining room told me. The people told me. Paper rustled on the recording. The green notebook. Saturday shifts. I wasn't watching revenue. I was watching what you'd sacrifice when it cost you. One of you washed dishes for 4 hours so a man could see his son born. The question? I wasn't asking for strategy. I was asking who remembered this place has a soul. One of you gave your grandfather his spot back. And the strangers? Yes, I sent them. Both of them. One of you threatened to call police on an actor. One of you fed a frightened old woman and held her hand. The restaurant loses money some nights, so it never loses itself. Only one of you understood that without being told. A pause. Her voice softened. My Rosa's Carnitas recipe made us famous, but the recipe on the last page of my notebook is the real one. Mija, read it when you're alone. That night, in the empty dining room, under Grandpa's photo, I opened the green notebook to the last page. No ingredients. Just one line in her handwriting. Feed people like their family, and the family never dies. P.S. Tomas gets Saturdays off. He has a son now.